Hi, I'm Penny, and today on Open Hand Farm, we're going to put together some tinctures to have available throughout the upcoming cold and flu season to get us through. We will make 5 different tinctures that will work together as an immune boosting tincture. So let's get busy. Before we start these tinctures, I want to show you what the herb looks like, and I want to tell you how it is used for the immune system. Now, I'm going to be reading this information to you because there's a lot of it, and I don't want to say the wrong words. Let's start with astragalus root. This one is a sliced astragalus. You can get it chopped, but this is what I bought at the time, and it's what I have. So astragalus is used to protect and support the immune system, preventing colds and upper respiratory infections. Some evidence shows that astragalus may increase your body's production of white blood cells, which can help fight off illness or infection. So that is the benefit of using astragalus root tincture. Now let's look at calendula. Calendula is a flower. It's a yellow flower that I grow in my garden. These I bought, and it's just the flowers, the stems, the leaves, everything. And calendula's antifungal and antimicrobial properties help prevent infection and heal injuries to body tissues. Calendula also appears to fight inflammation, viruses, and bacteria. Calendula has been shown to strengthen the immune system's ability to fight off infection. Calendula has the ability to kick the leftover infection caused by a passing flu or cold. So calendula is just the winner all the way around. Actually, all of these herbs are. They have so many other medicinal uses. I'm just focusing on the immune system right now. So be sure and check them out to learn all of their valuable properties. Now we're going to look at the elderberry. I grew these on my tree last year and dehydrated them. I thought I would make elderberry juice with it, but I already had some still on my shelf, so I just kept them in this form to keep them fresh. So with the elderberry, the berries and flowers are packed with antioxidants and vitamins that boost your immune system. Some experts recommend elderberry to help prevent and ease cold and flu symptoms. So it's just a good preventative, and if you feel like you're coming down with something, hit the elderberry tincture. Now, before I go any further, I want to just remind you that I am not a trained herbalist. I have learned some of this from herbalist friends, and some I have found on the internet, and some from books that I own. If you are allergic to ragweed, daisies, marigolds, or anything in that family, you should not use some of these herbs. You also should not use some of these herbs if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Please do your own research. Consult your physician if you are on over-the-counter or prescription drugs to make sure that there will be no drug interactions with any of these herbs. Okay, now let's look at goldenrod. Goldenrod is a big yellow flower that a lot of people think is ragweed, but it is not. These are dull because they've been dried, but it has these beautiful bright yellow furry flowers that come on it. And these were from a friend's yard in a very safe spot. Goldenrod is an herb that has traditionally been used to support the immune system. It is known for its ability to boost overall immunity and help fight off infections. It can also relieve a wide range of conditions related to the respiratory system, like allergies, sinus infections, and coughs. Okay, now we are to the last item that we will be making a tincture with. I have never used this item, but it is magnificent. It has so many values to it, not just for the immune system. It is called chaga, and chaga is a mushroom, a type of fungus that's commonly found on birch trees in cold climates. It's used in folk medicine for various ailments across Northern Europe. Chaga mushrooms are edible, but because of their bitter taste, most people drink chaga mushroom as a tea. This mushroom is very odd looking. It's not like a mushroom. It is more like a growth that grows on a tree, and they break it off, and we will be doing it a little bit different than we do the other tinctures, and I'll tell you why when the time comes. But it is exciting because this mushroom does so much for your immune system. It makes your thinking process more clear. It helps with your circulatory system. It helps with everything. Please do some research on chaga. You will just be so surprised. I have a friend who has recently been diagnosed with a gut issue. I was just reading some information to familiarize myself with it and came across how it is great for your gut health. And it even mentioned healing the problem that my friend has. So I immediately told her, this is a wonderful, wonderful resource. Okay, just another reminder, talk to your healthcare provider if you're taking blood thinners, because the chaga might interfere with that. And please look up the side effects to all of these items that we're going to make tinctures with, to make sure that there is no drug interactions that could harm you. Again, I am not an herbalist. This is information that I have gotten from an herbalist. I attended the Country Tough Homestead Expo in Sedalia, Missouri, and the herbalist that was there, Tiffany Butters, was sharing that her family uses these tinctures together as an immune boosting tincture, and it really, really works for them, that they're just hardly ever sick. So I decided to use Tiffany's recipe that she gave us at the expo and make some. Never leave your health in the hands of someone else. Always do your research, even if it's information from your doctor or a specialist. Just make sure you know what you are putting in your body when it comes to medicine, whether herbal or pharmaceutical. So let's get these tinctures made. If you've never made a tincture, it is so easy. You can use apple cider vinegar, glyceride, or any kind of rum or vodka for the base of your tincture. We are going to use vodka. Now you can use up to 100 proof if you want. So that's what we're going to use. I have a partial bottle that we're going to use up first, and then we're going to open this one. So what we're going to do is just grab some of the herb and add it to our jar. We are doing the folklore way of making tinctures, which does not require measuring. We are going to fill our jar about 3/4 full of our herb. Then we are going to cover that with vodka. We just want to make sure that it is covered on the top. We don't have to fill the jar all the way, and it will float on us, and that's fine. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So it's to the top of the 2-cup mark. And then we're going to put a lid on it. One of the most important things at this point is to label your jar. I like to just take some tape and write on it. So this one is calendula, and it is 60 proof vodka. Now, the one thing I don't like about making tinctures is they take so long. So this will need to sit for 6 weeks. So I'm going to look at my calendar, and that will be October 28th. So I will write that on this as well. Then I put it on my lid. And we're going to set that aside, and we'll start our next one. See how quick that was? Now for the elderberries, we're just going to put about a cup in, because they are dehydrated. They will have the medicinal value. Now, a cup of elderberries will do a fine job. You don't have to fill your jar as full. And you don't have to fill, like I'm filling my jar about 3/4 full. If you don't want to make that much tincture, then don't. Fill it as full as you want, just so you cover it with the vodka. And it too will be done on 10/28. And there's number 2. Now, these two are going to be a little bit different because they are in bigger pieces. Okay. For the astragalus, if I put it in here, it's going to be pretty tall on the jar. So I'm just going to break them in half, and that actually opens up more surface area so that I can put more in there, and it can draw more properties out of it. It opens up the inside of it so that it can reach more of its medicinal value. Anything that you can give more surface area to, that's great to enable the vodka to get in there better. I have also used astragalus root in my elderberry syrup just to give it a little bit more oomph. I need to probably make some more of that, so I'll try and remember to video that as well. And of course, any of these herbs that you use, you want to try and use organic. All right, I'm going to stop there for the astragalus. Now, Tiffany said that she does make tinctures sometimes if she has different items that she's always going to put the tinctures together. She just tinctures them together. So we could have done 1 part astragalus, 1 part calendula, 1 part goldenrod, 1 part elderberry, all in the same jar, and covered that all. But notice I didn't say chaga. We couldn't just put 1 part chaga, and I'll tell you why that is soon. But I like the idea of having the benefits of these tinctures on their own as well as together. So I decided to do them separately. But I was glad to know that you can tincture them together if you are doing something that you will always just put together. And now we have goldenrod. And as you saw, it's kind of in sticks like this. So I'm just going to kind of break them as I put them in there. make a mess. That's okay, it'll clean. Kind of fold them over and snap them. I do have some goldenrod tincture downstairs, but I've been giving it to friends because it really helps with allergies. They could not believe. I had a friend over one day that we were visiting, and she just kept sniffing her nose. And I was like, are you okay? Do you need some cold medicine or something? And she said, no, it's just allergies. And I said, okay, I just heard that goldenrod will take care of that. Would you be willing to drink some tea? And I had just dried this. I had just gotten it done drying. And she said, well, I'm not a real big tea drinker, but I can try it. But if I don't like the taste of it, I'm not going to drink it. I said, that's okay. I understand. So I made her some goldenrod tea. She liked the taste of it. It's kind of got a sweet taste to it. So she drank the tea, and the whole rest of the time she was there, she never sniffed her nose again. You guys, it was that quick. After that, I made some tincture, and I have had friends come and say, oh, I need more of that tincture. Do you have it? My allergies are really acting up. And it does a great job. So that's why it is another great resource to put in this mixture for cold and flu season. All right, so there are my 4 tinctures that I used the vodka on. This one's not quite covering my astragalus, so I'm going to add a little bit more there. And I will tell you, I have used almost 2/3 of this bottle of vodka. Now, we're going to set these in a dark, cool area, and we're going to try to remember, you guys, it's a thing. I don't remember. Every day to just give them a shake. Just to make sure that every bit of the herb is getting in contact with the vodka and getting all of its goodness extracted into the vodka. Now we're going to do the chaga, but it's different. Chaga has a different consistency, as you can tell. It is thick, it's very solid and very hard, like I can't break that. Now, if I use 80% vodka, that would not extract everything that needs to be extracted from this chaga because of its density. This is the amount of chaga that I want to use, but I want this to be able to pull out all of the medicinal value that it can. So I'm going to use a chopping board and a hammer and break this up. I'm going to put the pieces in a Ziploc bag just so that they don't fly everywhere. It's not easy. All right, that is much smaller pieces. So now let's put that in our jar. All right, much better. We still have some kind of big chunks, but we'll see how it works. We are going to use what's called Everclear. And that is a 95% alcohol. So it is very strong, and it will pull out the properties that we need pulled out from this chaga. So we're going to pour it in, cover it up, Man, that's bubbling, you guys. That's crazy. Can you see that? So it is going to bubble and work its way into that chaga. Now, the other thing about using chaga tincture is that this is not the only step. So all of these tinctures will be ready on the 28th of October. But this one will still need a little bit of work because there is medicinal value to be extracted from the chaga. With the vodka, there is also some medicinal value that needs to be extracted with water. So what we will do is when this tincture is done, we will strain the chaga out and we will add water to it and do a process that will then be added into the alcohol part. So for now, we're going to do this step. When the time is up, I will take the chaga tincture and finish it and video what you need to do next. But for now, this is it. We put it in, we add the Everclear, we put the lid on, we make a label, and we let it sit. That is our 5 tinctures that we have put together today to prepare for the cold and flu season. All of these together will cover any need that we have. I wanted to share with you how to use these tinctures. Tiffany, who gave me the recipe, said that she takes 1 part of each tincture. So you decide your own part. If you want 1/4 of a cup of the tincture, you take 1/4 of a cup of all 5 of them and you put them together in a jar. Or if you want 1/2 cup, you do 1/2 cup of all of them. Whatever you do the same, equal parts for all of them. Now you have an immune tonic tincture. And after you have a jar of that, you can put it into smaller dropper jars if you like, or you can just put a dropper into your big jar when it's time to take your doses. So you would just take 1/2 to 1 dropper full every other day. So about 3 times a week. So if you're not feeling sick, go for the 1/2 dropper. It'll just fight off the chances of you being sick. If you begin to feel like, I'm not feeling that good, I'm feeling some symptoms coming on, boost it up to 1 dropper full, and that will help fight that off. I almost forgot. I have another tincture that I have to get started, and you probably need to start it too. This was another one that Tiffany told us about, and it's called Usnea. And it is a lichen. It is something that grows on trees after it rains. I have a viewer who said it grows on her trees all the time. I said, what a blessing to have that so close to you. It is kind of scary looking. So imagine this hanging in a tree and it gets collected. And what we're going to do is just take a ball of it and shove it down in a jar. And I'm going to maybe add just this little tail more. And then cover it with our 80 proof vodka. I am going to go ahead and fill this jar full. And I'm actually kind of stuffing some more in there. I want to make sure I get good contact and lots of Usnea in there. Let's put 1 more bit in. Okay, now I'm going to cover it up and label it, and it too will be ready on October 28th. Now let me tell you about Usnea. I know you've all heard of the medication called Mucinex, and that medication was derived from the properties of usnea. They took this and they said, how can we make it into a synthetic pill form? And that's what they did. This usnea is great when you have chest congestion. What it does is it liquefies that congestion in there so that it will not stick to the walls of your chest, so that it doesn't get thick and goopy and you end up with pneumonia. Instead, it allows you to cough this stuff out. So I definitely want to have this on hand for when people in my family or my friends get that deep chest congestion going on. This will be our go-to. Now, not only does usnea work for loosening the infection or thickness in your chest, but it has antibiotic and antifungal properties that can also heal other parts of the body. So the lungs, like we just mentioned, like strep throat or urinary tract infections. Now, in general, the dose is about 30 drops a day that would be taken throughout the day. Now remember, this is while you have the infection. It's not every day. And if your infection continues, you need to see a doctor. Remember, I am not a doctor. I am not an herbalist. I am sharing with you information given to me by an herbalist, but that doesn't mean that it is perfect for you. You would take the 30 drops and divide it up into 4 or 5 servings, I guess you would call it. And you would take those drops and drop them into water or juice and take the usnea that way. If you have stomach upset or something like that, you need to reduce the dosage or maybe stop it altogether. Please be aware and pay attention of how it is affecting your body. We are all responsible for taking on our own health care, even if the medication has been given to us by a doctor or an herbalist or whatever. We need to pay attention. Tiffany swears by this and says it is the best thing for the cold and flu season when you get that infection type deep cough that you need to loosen up. So that will be going into my apothecary as well. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope that you have realized how easy it is to make a tincture, to try to take care of yourself and not depend on other people to do it for you. These are all very easy to find items. Like I said, a couple of them were from my yard or someone else's yard, but the others I bought off of Amazon from a reputable herbal source. So I will link everything below. I will also list a link of the other herbal videos I have done in case there are any other herbal remedies that I have done that you have been curious about. So go get your household ready for cold and flu season as well. And until next time, blessings on you and yours.